We'll be painting these in oil pastels. These roses are so gorgeous, and the perfume is just outstanding. I was so inspired that I just had to try to capture their beauty with my oil pastels. Welcome to In Her Quaint studio. I like to paint and make videos about it. If you like the sound of that, please consider subscribing. So grab some fresh roses and let's get started. I'm going to get out my sketchbook, and if you're curious to see the tutorial on that portrait, I do have a separate video on that. I also have a full tutorial on how to use oil pastels, and I explain exactly what they are and how to use them, and that will also be linked at the end of this video. So I am just going to get out my pencil and I'm going to roughly sketch out my rose, and I was lucky enough to have these fresh roses growing in my garden, and so I'm just using it as my guide. And these roses are not going to be so realistic, just more of a figurative style, and I'm going to add a little bud as well at the end. So I did do a little bit of practice. As you see, I have one already finished there on the left, and I'm going to be redrawing this rose more or less the same. I'm just going to take out my kneadable eraser and I'm going to lighten all my pencil lines, and then I'm going to get out my oil pastels, and because I have my rose out, I'm just going to try to coordinate my colors with the colors in the rose. So there's various pinks and reds in this rose, and in this oil pastel set I have so many colors that finding the colors were pretty easy and available. I'm using the 60 set oil pastel set by Gogh. So I'm going to go out with my darkest red color, and I believe this is called Carmine, and I'm just going to add in the darks first, and I'm basically going to go around and around the rose and just add a few dashes and squiggly lines to represent the petals. So I'm just going to go around and around this rose, and I'm just going to outline the petals, and I'm just going to make it very figurative. I'm not going to worry too much about the fine details. If you would like the full list of the colors that I used, just write in the comments that you would like me to write down exactly the colors that I used, and I will happily give you the color codes. I'm currently using the 60 color set of the Van Gogh oil pastel set. There will be a link for that as well. Now I'm just taking out a medium rose pinkish color, and I'm just going to apply it on top of the darker red. So I'm basically going to go from dark to light as the petals bloom outwards. I'm going to try to lighten the reds as I go outwards. Now I'm going to take this pretty pink color and I'm going to apply it on top of the medium pink color. And again, I'm just going to go around and around the rose, and I'm just going to make those petals pop a little bit more. And I'm pretty impressed with the assortment of pinks and reds that I had in this set, so I'm quite happy. They're quite bold and pretty, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm just going to wipe off this lighter pink color with a tissue just to make sure that the color is going to be clean when I apply it onto the rose. And there really isn't that pink color on the rose, but this is just going to represent a little bit of the highlights on the rose, and I'm just going to pop that on at the edges of each petal, and this is just going to bring out the petals from the page. And again, I find using oil pastels don't really give a realistic look, but I kind of like that. And then in the center they had these kind of burnt orange pistils that I wanted to capture. So I'm just gonna apply this color with little dots all around the center. So looking back, you could just leave it as is. I think it was quite pretty, but I think I just wanted to capture that darkness and add a little bit more depth. So I added a little bit of this dark purple right in the center, and then just a few touches of darkness around just in the middle, and then just a few more darkness around the petals, just to add a little bit depth in the center. I didn't want to go with black because the black would probably be too harsh, and so the purple was just a nice alternative to black, just to make the painting a little bit more colorful. And then I take out my darkest red and I'm just going to go over the purple. I'm going to blend it all together, and I'm just going to add in a little bit of the red in the center, and I'm just going to blend it in with the purples and try to darken that center and not make that purple so obvious. Okay, so I'm going to get out my white and I'm just going to clean up the edge from the past color that was on there with a little tissue. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white and I'm going to blend it in just here and there, not everywhere. And I'm just going to blend it into the tips of the petals. And this is just a great way to add a little bit of highlights. And now I'm going to take out this soft, dry brush. And I am going to use this to take off that extra bits of wax that does come off your oil pastels as you blend away. And I'm going to, instead of using my hands, I'm just going to sweep them off with this nice soft dry brush. So that's a little tip that I learned along the way. And I just wanted to clean up whatever color that might have smudged onto my white background with a nice kneadable eraser. Now I'm going to move on to the bud. The buds are so pretty, as you can see. These are the roses in my garden. And I'm just gonna go through the same process. I'm gonna go from a dark to light, and I am going to, if you see on the left bud, I have the lighter side is on the right, but in this rose I decided to make the lighter side on the left. So as you can see, I'm applying the lighter pink there on the left. So that I just decided to change my mind. So on the left of the bud, I'm applying the lighter pink. And you can see as I blend away, I'm going from dark to light. And so this is just going to add the depth to your bud. Okay, I'm just going to stop there for a minute, and I'm going to start on the leaves. So I'm going to take out these 3 greens, and with my darkest green, I'm just going to start tracing out my leaves, and you can place the leaves anywhere you'd like. I just decided to place these 3 leaves. I find that usually when you place things in threes, it's just a nice way to balance your painting. And now I'm going in with the medium green, and I'm just going to blend that in on top of the dark. And I'm just going to just add dashes of lines. And as you can see, I'm not totally covering the whole entire white space. I'm leaving little white spaces because in those little white spaces, I'll be adding the lighter green. And this is a nice bright green. Just make sure to clean it off just so it's a nice fresh color and your colors won't be muddied too much. And then I'm just gonna apply it on top while covering in those pieces of white. It's kind of nice to have little pieces of white showing through. And I'm just gonna deepen those edges just to show a little bit more contrast between the leaf and the rose. Now, if you make a mistake, it's very easy to get out just a normal eraser, clean it off, and basically just erase away and clean it up with a soft brush. And then I'll just go over that leaf one more time just to clean it up with my greens. Okay, I think I'm done, but I'm just gonna add, those last minute touches. I might want to fix some of the petals, so I decided to fix some of the petals here, add a few more petals. So I want to make the rose a little bit bigger and just balance it out. So I'm just going over my techniques again, working from dark to light and adding those last final touches to my rose. I just wanted to deepen the center a little bit more, and I just wanted to make that center pop out a little bit more. I probably could have added a little bit more purple or darkness to that center, but I just decided to keep it light and airy. Okay, and as a final touch, I am going to go in there with my white, and I'm going to pop in those last bits of highlights and just blend it on some parts of the petals and the rosebud, and I'm even going to apply it on to the edges of my leaves. So here I think I'm finished, so I'm going to take my clean dry brush and I'm just going to do one last sweep of the extra wax that might have fallen off, and I'm going to clean off my edges with my eraser, make sure my background is nice and white. I'm just going to keep the background white. Just to remember all the colors I used, I am going to just put a swatch of the colors on my painting. In case I ever want to repeat this painting again, I'll have a nice color swatch for me to go back to. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, give me a like, I would really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much to my old subscribers and my new subscribers. Love, peace, bye.